I was wrapped up and being snowed on in Boone. So all in 1 week in one state, warm beach weather and snow, like straight up, like driving out of Boone yesterday, there was, I could barely see in front of me until then suddenly it was just a wall and it disappeared and suddenly it was sunny and clear and beautiful. So anyway, all right, good morning. Let's take a moment to center ourselves, close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, get into your prayer position. Turn your attention to your breath for a moment. And finding that place of gratitude. Just saying thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for this morning. Thank you for waking up. Thank you for the clothes that we got to put on to come and be here and be in this space with other like-minded people and celebrate together, celebrate life, celebrate love, celebrate peace, celebrate joy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. Amen. All right, our worship assistant is still on the way. So, there we go. There you go. Here you go. Our worship assistant is here. I was like, that's why we have a script. Now let me read it.
Thank you. Let me get my breath. Oh, this is a good time for everybody to take a nice deep breath. There's nothing like getting a text that says, by the way, do you know your worship assistant today? And I'm like, So good morning. And welcome home. Is this on? There it is. There it is. If you're watching us virtually, please type in the comments. And everyone, look around at your neighbors and repeat after me. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love you this morning. And I sure do appreciate you being here. To our virtual church family, please know we are saying that to you as well. Help us grow this loving community by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to our pages. So join us with today's affirmations. Just like the spring flowers blooming, I am bright. I am beautiful, and I am alive. God is good. Life is good. I am good, and so it is. Now we'll have our call to worship song by Maria Mata.
If everyone will please stand up and join me, and I want you to sing loud. This is a little below my range, so I don't love it. So if y'all will please stand and join me. Am I strong enough to bear the burdens sometimes come with living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork of the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up, the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have enough of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness. Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Thank you all for singing out. And I believe Ellie comes back up.
No,
Oh, Pat.
Can I do this without holding it? No, they won't hear you. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's good to see you all here. I'm going to share the last Lent reading for the Lent season with you all today. This is our last Sunday for this to be able to celebrate Easter next week. These 6 Sundays have been a time for us to embrace the positive and release the negative. Today's reading from the Unity, Release, and Renew booklet was written by Reverend Deanne Morency and is called, I Release Old Grudges and Resentments. There are moments in life when we are treated in ways that are painful, demeaning, and unfair. Words are spoken and actions are taken that wound us. We feel satisfying in those moments of betrayal and injustice to close off our hearts and nurse our grudges. We replay events over and over, crystallizing our past and pain and justifying our anger. How many of us have been there? We think we're doing it to keep ourselves safe, and so that something like this can never happen again. But we're closing off our own capacity to love, heal, grow, and move forward. By carrying a grudge, we weigh ourselves down with the past, and resentment blocks our good. Releasing our old grudges means opening the constricted, rigid spaces of our heart and letting the stories go. How many rewind stories in our minds? Letting go of our need to be right and the idea that whoever hurt us did something wrong. As we are willing to release our grudges and resentments, we open to healing, to an awareness of our own wholeness, to an experience of love and compassion. When we release our grudges against others, we release ourselves. And from Colossians 3:14, above all, clothe ourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony.
So I am your prayer chaplain today. And I'd just like to let you know, and Nana's coming up with the prayer box, that no matter what you may be growing through, our prayer chaplain team wants to pray with you about it. Anita is here, and also at the very back is Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. It's nothing like drawing a blank when you're pointing at someone. Yeah, that's right. Seek one of us out after service today. To be included in our prayer list, simply fill out a form and put it in the prayer box before or after service. Or you can click the prayer request button on our website. And if you haven't already mailed or emailed in your prayer request, I invite you to take a moment now, just now, to think of someone or something that you'd like to pray for. And see yourself dropping your prayer request into the prayer box that Nana is holding. So let us pray. Today, as we relax into a time of contemplation, we call to mind those whom we wish to bless in prayer. We stand with them, knowing that God is already actively working in partnership with each person, helping them grow through the appearance of challenges. As we pray together, our faith consciousness uplifts. It uplifts all people everywhere. With this knowing, we affirm that our loved ones, Barbara Schlatt, families of Ukraine, Dawn Dowd, Donis Kravik, Davis Amos, Herbert Bird, Marilyn Garcia, Alexis Hansen and Nico White, Linda Dunn and family, and any additional loved ones you are holding in your heart. We see them whole, perfect, and complete. We affirm that the answers to their every need lives in the divine wisdom, vitality, and abundance within each of them. We give thanks for this truth and rest in the joyful knowing that everyone is truly blessed. And because we have been promised that whatever we ask for, believing, we shall receive. We release these requests now fully and completely and give thanks. For wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And while we are consciously in this place of blessing and just looking and seeing our loved ones with all of their challenges already met, taken care of one-on-one on their own, we now turn within, because we know that in order to be able to give from that spiritual place, it is important to take time to sit one-on-one with God, to fill ourselves up, to stay filled up, to remind ourselves of who and whose we are. Affirm with me that I am one with God. I am one with all people. I am one with all life. I am one with the One. I accept that I am a part of the great creation, that I am a part of God, that I am an expression of God. And being in this place of consciousness, I now sit for just a moment to listen to what divine wisdom has to say to me. I give thanks to God for this short visit, for knowing that this is a place that I can go within myself at any time. I let it all be well. I let it all be so, and so it is. And amen. So I'm going to give you, I'm going off script. Nothing better out of the script than go off of it. It's a nightmare of any actor on a film set, I'll tell you that. Anyway, I've got an affirmation for you. If you'll repeat after me. Today is great.
Today is great.
I am great.
I am great.
Today is great.
Today is great.
I am great.
I am great.
Now, I believe that about all of you, but mine was documented yesterday because I had a great nephew born. Nikolai Gray White was born at 3 a.m. yesterday. So there we go. They're all doing well.
That's hard to follow.
There you go. You're great. You're documented.
A great-grandmother. Yay. We have a lot of announcements today. So, if you are a first-time visitor or haven't been here in a long time, raise your hand. We have a gift for you. Ushers will come around and they've already gotten their gift. Yay. Good. There is a visitor connection card in there and a pen, and if you'll fill it out and put it in the basket or bring it to one of the ushers at the end of the service, that'd be appreciated. I'm glad you're here. The UIG annual meeting will be today after service. Yay! Who will be there? I think I'll be there. Yeah. We need at least 51% of the active membership to attend in order to make a quorum. Do we have a number on that?
That is 25 people, but that also includes absentee ballots. So if somebody cannot be present, but they're an active member, there was an email that went out yesterday that can be filled out.
Okay, good. So the Purposely Living Group is April 13th, 6:30 p.m., Zoom only. Next Sunday, everyone is invited to join in a week-long photo scavenger hunt. You'll receive a list of things to find and take pictures with, and just share those pictures on your personal social media account with the hashtag UIG scavenger hunt for a chance to win. That's great. That's great exposure for us and for you. Practice letting go using the Enneagram. It's a based meditation led by Charlotte Laheka, and that's Wednesday, April 20th, 6:30, and that is Zoom only. The authors of the book, The Wisdom of the Enneagram, discovered that each station of the Enneagram can be used in helping let us go of something that no longer serves us. I really look forward to that class. Mm-hmm.
Sign-up sheets in the back for all those Wednesday activities.
Yes, there's all kinds of sign-up sheets in the back.
Right, and so it gets its own table now.
Yes. And I see it from here. It's right behind Bill over there.
That's it.
Okay, but we have many more to sign up for. There's a save the date. There will be a second celebration of life with food for Janine on April 23rd from 12:30 to 3:30. Yeah. It's also her birthday. Yes. Yes, at Hagenstone Park. Yes. More details next week, but start thinking about stories, songs, and what food you'd like to bring. I think I'm in charge of this committee. Yes. Is that mine? Actually, we're going to have a Zoom meeting Monday evening. If you're interested in being somebody that wants to help out, just contact me later and I'll give you the number, and we're going to brainstorm something fabulous for Janine. So if you'd like to be a part of that, please let me know. There's a second chance for Bill Johnson's free workshop on Saturday, April 23rd from 9 a.m. to noon. It's called Find Your Way to a Better You and a Better Life. If you would like to attend this free workshop, send a note to Bill Johnson. His email's not up there, so I'll give it to you. It's WH John S.O. John S.O. Great. I like that even better. Just let us know. Just email us at info@unity in Greensboro.org. It's good having a left ear. So relief at last. Wednesday, April 27th at 6:30 to 8 p.m. in person and Zoom. Stress is held in the body from within expressed emotions from past trauma. You are invited to experience through muscle testing the release of at least one portion of unexpressed emotion and the relief it provides. This workshop is being facilitated by Joyce Hollifield, MSW. She's been doing this work since 1990 and credits her health and vitality to the continual release of stress in her 87-year-old body. She is remarkable, just remarkable. She runs circles around a lot of people. There are sign-up sheets for all our Wednesday nights at the door, so please take advantage of these wonderful offerings. And now we have special music performed by Sandy Hemingway. Sandy began playing piano at the Hamilton Baptist Church at age 11. Like so many do, he drifted away from church in his 20s while attending UNC, studying broadcasting, and subsequently at NC State studying computer programming. Around 2000, he was drawn to Unity Church of the Triangle, where he not only reconnected with God, but also with his musical gifts and began writing New Thought or Posy music. May 2021, Sandy released his second CD, 95 Seconds of Normal, available now. He is still playing regularly at a number of New Thought churches around North Carolina. So let's join together in welcoming Sandy Hemingway.
So thank you. Since this is Palm Sunday, I had difficulty figuring out exactly what I wanted to do, and I was thinking about it and praying on it. And I realized that Jesus' coming into Jerusalem was this big celebration. But I realized something there that I hadn't really thought about before, which is the story is told, he knew what was coming. Nobody else realized, but he knew what was coming. But when he came into that city, he got all of this praise, all of this support. And it occurred to me that one of the things that holds us back, maybe even more so than fear in moving forward in our lives, is a feeling that we are not worthy. That, oh, well, I don't deserve that. I haven't done enough. I need to do more to earn that. And it occurred to me that celebration when he was entering the city, it's entirely possible Jesus needed that support. He needed that boost to get him through what he knew was coming. And so I have this chant that I wrote, and feel free to sing along. It's mostly just one phrase, yes, I am. But it's, yes, I am ready, willing, and able to be loved. And it's just about understanding we are all worthy, even before we enter the city. I am. Yes, I am ready to be loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am ready to be loved. Like a small seed in a flower bed beneath the shining sun. Yes, I know I am loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am willing to be loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am willing to be loved. Like a small seed in a flower bed beneath the shining sun. Yes, I know I am loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am able to be loved. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am able to be loved. Like a small seed in a flower bed beneath the shining sun. Yes, I know I am. Yes, I know I am. Yes, I know I am loved. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So, Palm Sunday. Am I not on? It's hard to tell because I'm loud anyway. There we go. I thought I was on, but that was just me being loud. Hello, Palm Sunday. So it turns out that the first metaphysical lesson I ever gave as a guest speaker, I wasn't in ministry yet, I was already in ministerial school, but was on Palm Sunday. And I was at the Winston Church, and Elizabeth came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to see if you can be a guest speaker for me one Sunday." And my first internal voice said, "I'm not qualified to do that." And then that higher voice said, "Just say yes." And I was like, "Yes." and I was still like, I don't, but because it's a big church, like they, I don't know what's going on there these days, but like they had 2 services, like a lot of people, like, and I was like, yes. And then she said the date, and she said Palm Sunday. I'm like, no, that's like, can I have like July 17th instead of like one of the big holy days? And I was like, and that's what I said myself. And then it said, just say yes. And I was like, yes. And but luckily it was months ahead of time, and so and then I was like, I don't know how to do this every Sunday. I spent months putting this one talk together, but it starts to flow eventually. So I love Bible metaphysics anyway because it took away like the history of people using it as a weapon against saying, well, you got to because, or this bad thing's going to happen to you, or this, all that went away with Bible metaphysics. And so that's why I love looking at it. And then when I did this one, like, I don't have the Bible memorized in its general form. I definitely still then don't have it memorized in its metaphysical form. So whenever I break down a whole story, like I get the excitement of pulling all the pieces together too. So let me give you first just this is the general story from one of the books. I didn't write that down on this piece of paper. I think I actually grabbed it from Luke. One of the cool things in the Bible, there's lots of stories, and as we all know, that sometimes the stories contradict one another, and that's because they're being told by multiple different people from different perspectives and all of that stuff, right? So, and then often there may be a story that's only in, like when I say one of the books, like there's lots of books, but when you're going from the Christian perspective, the first thing you do is look at the four Gospels, right? So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And in those, if you get a mention of a story in a couple of them, like that becomes a little bit more like, oh, I really need to, that's not just somebody's perspective. This one like maybe really happened because a bunch of people are talking about it. This one's in all four of them, with some slight differences, but all four of them. So Jesus and the disciples are, I'm going to paraphrase, I'm not going to read this to you. They're heading into Jerusalem, right? And they stop off in this town called Bethphage, which is on the Mount of Olives, near Jerusalem. Jesus tells two of his disciples to go into the next town, and as soon as they get into town, they're going to find a donkey and a colt tied up. And he says, untie them, and bring them back to me. And if somebody stops you and says, why are you stealing the donkey and the colt? I added the stealing. Because that's what they were doing, let's be honest. If somebody stops you and says, hey, what are you doing? Just say, the Lord needs these, and they'll be fine with it. I recommend that you not try that today in modern society. Because that is not a good legal defense in court. So they do it. They get the colt and the donkey. Somebody stops them, says, hey, what are you doing? They're like, no problem. The Lord needs these. And they're like, okay. And then they go off. And then they get them ready and they pad them up right. And then word has started spreading to people in Jerusalem that they're coming. So now people have started cutting those palm fronds and they're like laying them down and putting their cloaks down also on the path for Jesus to walk, come in on. And then they're also waving them around. One year we should buy those, just because. I had the church experience where I'm like, this feels really cultish right now that but it's also kind of fun just to be, woo, So anyway, so they're there. They're saying, Hosanna, the Son of David, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, Hosanna in the highest of heavens. And Jesus comes into all this great praise, right? Now, this is the lead up, of course, to what we'll then talk about next week of Easter, which is like within a couple of days of this, the man's up on a cross being crucified and the cheers have gone away and now they're like, boo, like it shifts that quick. We know that happens in today's society. 1 second we're cheering them on and the next second we're like, whatever, you're done. So that was the story. They came in and they said, this is Jesus. Somebody said, some of the people who were like, what's going on? They were like, oh, this is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth of Galilee. And that is the palm story of that entrance, right? So let's look at the puzzle pieces of the metaphysics of those different pieces. So first is Jerusalem. Jerusalem metaphysically means the city of peace or the habitation of peace. Bethphage is the place in our consciousness where grace is realized. The Mount of Olives is an exalted state of love. You don't have to memorize all this, by the way. I'm going to go back and put the puzzle pieces together. I just want to kind of give you all the breakdown pieces of it. The two disciples aren't named, but there are Bible scholars who believe that it was the brothers John and James of Zebedee. And then we go to the palm fronds itself, represents unlimited resource and strength. And then when they were naming him of why this was such a cool thing, he was the son of David, and David represents divine love within our human consciousness. Now, then we get down to, I don't know why I highlighted Jesus all the way down here. I'm pretty sure he was mentioned up there somewhere. Jesus is the I in man, right? So Jesus isn't the Christ, and Christ isn't his last name. Christ is the message that was taught for all of us, because the Christ is within all of us. That's our Christ mind. That's the God. That's that spark that gives us life, right? All of that. That's the Christ part. Jesus, though, represents the I am identity. Jesus was the teacher to let us know about that I am Christ mind. So that's who Jesus is. And from Nazareth is just like an offshoot. Just like he's from kind of this offshoot of Galilee, which is life activity. So it's like this is just kind of a piece of life activity. So we start putting all this together. Now, the cool thing, once I realized all this, just the first puzzle piece of Jerusalem alone, and we know this is a journey into Jerusalem, this becomes a journey into peace. So when you're having a non-peaceful moment, and I get those regularly, I'm sure y'all don't. I'm sure you live peacefully all day, every day, and you never feel like saying words that others find inappropriate. You know, I'm sure it's just me that does all, but this is where the metaphysics helps, because it's like, all right, I need to be peaceful, but for the life of me today, there is nothing I can think of that I find very peaceful, because the second I'm like, oh, well, this thing's normally peaceful. Not today, because that reminds me of such and such, and she did, right? So it's like, that's when you can go in here and you're like, all right, I need to get to peace. How do I do it? Well, the first thing is you stop in Beth phase. You stop in a place where grace is within you. You stop and you accept that there is grace within your consciousness. Just accepting that you possess that, and that you don't have to earn it and you don't have to find it. It is already existing right now. It's an even flow. It never cuts off. So you accept that you need to get to a place of grace. And grace is just like, you're just accepting the grace, right? Okay, I'm having this moment and I'm accepting grace in this moment, right? And that's on the Mount of Olives, which is an exalted state of love. So I am now accepting grace, and I am accepting that I am absolutely surrounded in love, not like an exalted state of just pure love, unconditional. I don't have to worry about what I was saying or thinking 30 seconds ago. Like, now I'm in grace and I'm in love. And then you got to get the donkey or the colt. Now this is, I think I skipped that one before in giving you the pieces. This is the animal nature of the human or the life, right? This is, this was a longer piece. Characteristics of the donkey are stubborn, persistency, and endurance. To ride these is to make them obedient to one's will. So this is saying, I understand I'm having a human experience, and I'm understanding that it needs to be tamed, and I'm understanding that I have the dominion and the power to do that. And now that I'm in grace and just surrounding myself in love and refusing to think of anything that's not graceful and loving, I can get to that place of taming the animal nature that was ready to ride off and start, kicking some stuff in the China store, right? Now I'm graceful and I'm loving and I'm taming that down. And when I do that, now I'm ready to go into peace. Now I'm ready to ride in. And once you're there, then like peace doesn't have to be, it can be this. That's lovely, right? But it doesn't have to be that. Once you get into the state, now you can celebrate. Now you can accept that divine love that is like bouncing and you, not something that you have, something that you are. That becomes challenging for us. And if you're mad at some other human being, now you can get to the place, like maybe you still got a little work to do, but now you get to the place where you can accept the truth with the capital T, that so is that other person, whoever they are and whatever they did or said, still they are also divine love. And when you get to the place of being like, yes, I can accept that. I don't think they know it right now, but I know it, and I'm going, right? So it's like, I'm going to accept that because now you're in peace. Now you're in peace in that very same place. And this doesn't have to, it can take a while. You can break out the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary and crack open and do all this work. Good news is, if you don't have a hard copy of that very thick book, it's all online on truthunity.net, and you don't even have to memorize that email. You can just go to Google and say metaphysical definition and then whatever thing you're looking for, right? And get there into that, and then get this information so that this historical book that we know as the Bible is what my mentor Della called our contract with God. The if-then. If you do this, then this will happen. Then you get this. If you do this, then you will get peace. But that works when you get into the metaphysics of it. And so this becomes one of my favorite metaphysical lessons, because who doesn't need peace on a daily basis, right? And not just who doesn't experience peace on it, who doesn't have to on purpose decide to be peaceful and then get there, right? And usually by the time you're thinking, I sure do need some peace right now, it's because you're having a very not peaceful experience of something. And so this is okay, let me grab some grace. Let me accept that I have grace, no matter what I was just thinking, no matter what I was about to say, or found out what I was thinking right after the words slipped out of my mouth. Let me stop and take a breath and accept the grace, which is also accepting the forgiveness of the moment. And the best person you can ever forgive in your entire life is yourself. For things that you did or said, but also if there's somebody that you're working on some forgiveness work on, one of the best things you can do is forgive yourself for holding on to whatever feelings that you've allowed to give free rent to in your mind, because you got to release that before you can get to the other, right? That's all grace. So let me accept that I have the grace. Let me accept that I am love. The easiest way is to just start with whatever you have that unconditional love for. Get that mental image in your mind. Go ahead and put it in the front of the file cabinet so you can pull it out at any given moment. It helps with the meditation time. It helps with all that. You start thinking about love, then you thinking about things and people and puppies and waterfalls that you love. And then you pay attention to how that feels, and you accept that you're feeling it because it's in you. And it's in you because it is you. And then now you're in that place. So I hope that you'll use that. And when you use it enough, somebody's going to come up and say, hey, what are you doing these days? Have you whatever? Have you lost weight? Did you get a haircut? And you might not have done any of that stuff, but simply that shift in how you are, right? Because, well, I can say this because I've been heavy most of my life, or on the heavier side, is, when you're feeling pushed down by all the stuff, everything kind of drops down. But when you start to feel and understand who you are, you stand a little bit taller. I ain't lost a pound, still ate the same potato chips last night at 11:30 at night. I'm telling on myself. But if you stand a little bit taller, you look like you lost some weight. And you can do that trick just on standing a little taller if you want to. But when you have that confidence of knowing that you know what you know, and knowing who you are, and knowing that you are loved and love, then there's a shift in who you are, and people will recognize it, and they'll ask about it, and then you can tell them if you want to. So anyway, I love you. I bless you. I behold the Christ in you. And it's wonderful to be back here with you. Thank you all for being here today. So now is our time to give our love offerings and tithes. And so many of us do that electronically. If you do that, I invite you to place your hands on your heart when we get to that part. If you're giving here in the room, they're starting to pass around the bags. If you're virtually, you can hit a donate button on, I think, wherever you are. I think Miranda has a donate button there, or you can go to our website and hit that. And then for some of us, it's easier. We just go to Easy Tithe and set it up, and it hits once a month. So whatever works for you. We're doing some wonderful, great work, which we're about to tell you about in the annual meeting. And all of that goes much smoother when we can finance it with ease and grace and love and all that. So let us all say together this prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And now Charlotte will give us a prayer, and then Sandy will give us wonderful music.
So let us take a moment of quiet again, simply to tune into our heart space and experience our many, many blessings. Prosperity manifests in countless ways and forms. I expand my awareness to recognize and accept that it manifests also as health, relationships, beauty, nature, creativity. And from this place of appreciation and joy for those many ways that abundance expresses itself, we turn our attention to the gifts that we joyfully share in support of our ministry, a ministry that serves us and nourishes us, a ministry we take joy in supporting with our time, our talent, and our treasure. We bless this ministry. We see it growing and reaching out, touching others with its powerful, powerful message of oneness, unity, and love. We lift up our hands now and infuse this love offering with energy, gratitude, and love, and dedicate it to our awakening and the awakening of all humankind. Together, we transform our lives and co-create a prosperous spiritual community that blesses the world. And so it is. Amen.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdens be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. I almost was going to sing that song next week. I was actually because Nick's bringing in a violinist, which I keep calling a fiddle player, but I decided not to. But I got to hand it to you too on that song, like singing those notes at the end, sitting down. Like I got to stand up to help get to that. Anyway. So thank you. So next week is Easter. We're going to have a cool service. I am the worship assistant, or what I'm really calling the MC, next week. We're having music from, I'm going to sing a song, Anita and Maria are singing, and Nick's going to sing, and Tal is going to sing. Tal's going to be here to play the piano. We have a violinist / fiddler, Vance Archer is his name, who will be here. And so we're going to have lots of music, and you're going to get a metaphysical lesson on kind of the three pieces of Easter, which is the crucifixion, the resurrection, and the ascension. And those are going to be given by people from our adult ed team. And so you're getting those from Tamika Carter and Charlotte LaHecca and Joyce Hollifield. And it should be a really fun Sunday. I do hope you'll join us for all that. And then, of course, today our meeting is across the hall, and we just need a few minutes to move the screen and the projector and the camera. And so I do need to remind you all that they start service at 11 o'clock. So we need this hallway to be a silent zone. We were disruptive in their service last Sunday, and I heard it from 2 different people. So if we can just be mindful of that. And wherever you are on mask wearing, this is their building, and what they want when we're in their space is to have a mask on. So if you don't have one, we have some. But if you're in the hallways and in the bathrooms, they are still requesting and requiring masks. It is optional within our own space. Okay. That is it on those announcements. If for some reason you're an active voting member and you cannot stay for the meeting, then we will, I don't have like the paper absentee ballots down here, but we'll get you to sign a piece of paper. An absentee ballot counts towards quorum. We have to have at least 25 people or the meeting can't happen. But people's signatures, absentee ballots will work too. All right, let's sing the peace song. And by the way, peace song, some people want to hold hands and love and hug, and other people do not. So we need to recognize and respect the ones who do not. If you do not, I invite you to place your hands up in this position so that people will know not to reach to grab your hands. And if you want to hold hands, you can hold them down, and if somebody wants to grab it, they'll grab it. Don't take their hand if they didn't give it to you. Thank you very much. Love people energetically first. All right, would you like to come sing the peace song, somebody?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, love is, peace is, light is, God is, and all is well. See you across the hall.
Thank you, everybody. All right, so if we'll stack the chairs up. I think we have enough chairs across the hall. If we need some, we'll come get a stack of them. But if we go ahead and close this room down, and we'll